Sunshine, it's Ashley, and today we are going to do something delicious. If you watched my last video last week, you will see I did an easy 3-ingredient fruit dip. Today we are going to use that 3-ingredient fruit dip and make a delicious, beautiful, tasty fruit cake. The inspiration for this fruit cake was my husband, who does not like actual cake, but he loves fruit and he loves fruit dip. Specifically, he loves watermelon. You see where this is going. So I decided to make him a cake out of watermelon and fruit dip, so that way he can still have a birthday cake that's not an actual cake, because sometimes if you're trying to be healthy or even just you don't like cake like him, you need a birthday cake. Who doesn't like birthday cake, even if it's made out of watermelon? So guys, go ahead and subscribe so you can see every time I post a new video. I'm posting every week, so hit the notification bell so you can get an alert every time a video goes live. Okay, let's just get into this fruit cake because it's really easy and it just looks awesome. So guys, let's go.
You're going to start with a watermelon, any size you want, just that will depend on what size cake you want to make. And we are going to use the center section. So what we're going to do is cut off these two ends to make them flat like a cake, flat and round. So I'm just going to take a very large knife and I'm going to start working on cutting an end off. I did struggle a little bit. It did get stuck, so I don't suggest doing it this way. The sawing method definitely is what worked best for me. If you're a kid, please get an adult to do this. Knives can be very dangerous, especially big ones like this when you're struggling like I'm doing. So I'm just going to take this very large knife and I'm just going to saw the end of my watermelon off. If it's not perfectly even, you can level it out a little bit later, so that way your cake stands up perfectly straight. But right now I'm just trying to get the stupid thing cut off. So once you have that, look at that beautiful watermelon. I did get seeded just because, in my opinion, the seeded tastes better, but the seedless would probably be better for this as far as not having to deal with digging seeds out of your cake. But I just prefer the taste of seeded, so I just decided to go with seeded. I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut the top section off of this watermelon. And I'm going to do this little back and forth saw-y looking method here and spinning the watermelon, kind of how I would level a cake. And I'm just going to use that to cut off this top little section, and then boom, we have a little cylinder of a watermelon. And the good thing about this is you can eat all the scraps that come out of the ends as you're doing this, because you're not gonna do this and not want to take a bite of that delicious watermelon. So now we're going to cut off all of this white, is it rind? Is that what it's called? The rind? We're going to cut that off. So I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to kind of trim it off. And don't worry if you don't get it all perfectly and for those lines, because we're going to go back over it and kind of clean it up and round it out more like a cake. At this point, I'm just trying to get the majority of the white and the green off, so that way it's a just delicious edible watermelon cake. So I'm just going to go all the way around the cake doing this, trimming it off. I did, after a minute, realize that it would be a heck of a lot easier if I put this on my cake turntable. So if you have a Lazy Susan or a cake turntable, this makes this 1,000 times easier, let me tell you. I went back around and I trimmed off the rest of the white, and I kind of tried to smooth the cake out the best I could to make it round like a cake. And now I'm going to take some fruit dip. If you haven't seen my fruit dip video that I uploaded last week, go check it out. It's an easy 3-ingredient fruit dip. It literally doesn't take a minute to make, and it's so delicious. And we're going to use that as the icing for this cake. So I am out of piping bags currently, so I'm going to use a Ziploc bag and a cup here to ice my cake, because I'm just going to do something simple, nothing fancy. I'm not going to use any fancy tips. So I'm just going to use the cup to make it easy to fill my bag here. And then I'm going to transport some of my fruit dip into my cup, into my baggie. Once that's done, I'm going to cut the tip off of my Ziploc bag. I'm going to twist up the top so that way none of it comes leaking out of the top when I put pressure on it. And then boom, I'm going to ice my cake with a little Ziploc bag. If you want to be fancy and get a fancy tip and make it super cute and professional, you totally can. I just was trying to do a very easy, simple route. And so I just went with the old Ziploc bag method. Now I'm going to use some pineapple slices. I just decided to do this around the bottom border. I didn't have enough fruit dip really to cover around the whole bottom, like with icing. So I'm gonna just border it with this pineapple. My husband absolutely loves pineapple. It's like his favorite fruit. So I had to include pineapple in here, and I decided to half these little pineapple slices just so they would sit up nicely, because if they're round, they're gonna roll around. I'm just gonna line these all around the bottom of my watermelon cake. Once that's done, it's time to decorate the top. I'm just going to take some of the fruit dip I had left over, and I'm just going to do a ring or two around the middle here, just to kind of hold the fruit and things that I put on top in place, almost like a glue. So now I'm just going to take some strawberries. Yes, I have washed these strawberries because I've seen those videos. And I'm just going to place these around on the top and make it kind of look scattered and cute. I'm going to be adding other fruits too, not just the strawberries. So I did leave room for other fruits to add in. I have this big vine, is that a vine? A bunch of grapes. And I originally was individually dropping grapes on, but then I realized it kind of made them look like they're just in a big pile. And I like the look of the grapes on the vine. So I did finally just decide to rip a whole vine off and drop it on. And I definitely like that look better because it kind of scattered the grapes out a little more. Made it just look a little more aesthetically pleasing. But keep in mind, don't eat the vines. Come on now, guys. Let's be smart about this. And since, of course, pineapple is his favorite and I already added pineapple to the bottom, I decided to add a couple of halved pineapple slices to the top too, just to add a little decoration. And then I went in and just tried to fill in some of the little extra holes with little loose grapes, just so you couldn't see the top of the cake with the icing and the watermelon. It just made it a little prettier. If I got a little icing on it, I just wiped it off a little bit just to make it a little pretty. And that's it. You're just going to kind of pile the fruit on as you please on top. You can put whatever fruit you want. You can put blueberries, you can put raspberries, you can put any kind of fruit you want on the top of this. And that's it. It's beautiful, it's delicious, and you can customize it based on the fruit you love.
Like amazing for fruit and fruit cakes, and I know right now not a lot of get-togethers are happening, but imagine showing up to like a cookout with this awesome watermelon cake. Like, I feel like people would be blown away. And I mean, who doesn't love watermelon? Like, I love watermelon. So guys, let me know in the comments, do you like watermelon? If you don't like watermelon, what would you make this cake out of? Like cantaloupe? It would probably be smaller, but you could make a cantaloupe cake. I hope you guys liked this video. If you thought this looked tasty and delicious and fun, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot, guys. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see every time I post a new video, which is every week. Hit the notification bell so you are notified. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!